welcome to the deep dive.
Huh.
We got a really interesting set of articles sent in about family offices in Dubai.
Yeah.
And, I have to admit, this is way more interesting than I expected.
Yeah, it's like a hidden revolution happening in finance, right? We're not just talking about managing money here.
Right.
This is like high-level investment and innovation strategies that are really kind of reshaping industries.
Okay, so not your typical trust fund kid
No,
playing around with grandpa's money.
not at all.
So what makes these Dubai family offices so unique?
Well, one thing is their approach to wealth.
Okay.
They've really shifted from just preserving wealth across generations
Right.
to an aggressive expansion strategy.
Hmm.
They're looking for opportunities in like cutting-edge fields,
Yeah.
like AI-driven investments or decentralized finance or sustainable infrastructure,
Oh, wow.
things that traditional firms, kind of are hesitant to touch.
Yeah, they're a little slower moving.
Exactly. Yeah.
So these guys can kind of jump in.
They're agile. They can move quickly.
So they're almost more like venture capitalists, but with a global reach.
Exactly. And without all the red tape.
Yeah.
So take, for instance,
Yeah.
the Al Ghurair family office.
Mhm.
They've been investing very heavily in AI-powered agricultural technology,
Okay.
specifically vertical farming systems that are made to work in like really arid climates.
Interesting.
And this is smart
Yeah.
because it addresses food security concerns in the region,
Right.
but it also positions them at the forefront of a growing industry.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's a far cry from,
Right.
the old school image of family offices
Yeah.
just dabbling in real estate or private equity.
Totally. They're going way beyond those traditional sectors.
Yeah.
They recognize that the future is all about, disruptive technologies
Yeah.
and global interconnectedness. There's another family office that we read about that's using AI
Okay.
to analyze satellite imagery of shipping ports to try to predict supply chain disruptions.
Wow.
And this informs their investment decisions.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a level of sophistication that's rarely seen in traditional finance.
So they're using really cutting edge tech to get a competitive advantage.
Definitely.
But doesn't that open them up to a lot more risk?
It does.
Especially like cybersecurity risks.
You're absolutely right. The more interconnected these offices become, the more vulnerable they are
Yeah.
to cyber attacks.
Right.
And the consequences could be huge.
Yeah.
Not just financially, but to their reputations as well.
Yeah, that would be.
One report that we read
Yeah.
highlighted the threat of AI-powered hacking tools
Oh, wow.
that could specifically target family offices
Hmm.
and their sophisticated algorithms.
So how are they dealing with that?
Well, they're investing heavily in cybersecurity.
Okay.
They're implementing like multi-layered defense systems that use all the latest software encryption protocols and even AI-powered threat detection. Some are even going so far as to create what they call digital bunkers.
What?
These are secure offline data vaults to protect their most sensitive information.
So it's like a digital arms race out there.
It really is.
Yeah.
But,
What about the human element, though?
yeah.
Like, are these offices prepared to pass the torch to the next generation?
Yeah. Will they even want to do this?
Yeah. And will they be ready to take on this whole new financial ecosystem?
That's a major challenge.
Yeah.
And a lot of these families are taking it very seriously.
Okay.
They're creating structured educational programs
Wow.
and mentorship opportunities
Yeah.
to give their heirs the skills and knowledge that they need
Yeah.
to manage this complex financial world.
Yeah, because it's a lot different than it was, even a generation ago.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Some families are even setting up family councils.
Okay.
These are formal governance structures
Right.
that are designed to facilitate communication and decision-making across generations.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're building their own mini business schools.
Yeah. Tailored specifically to family office management.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. And it's not just about the technical aspects of investing.
Right.
They're instilling values
Like what?
like long-term thinking,
Okay.
risk management,
Mhm.
and responsible wealth stewardship.
So it's about the whole picture.
Yeah. They're realizing that preparing the next generation
Right.
is just as important as protecting their assets.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about more than just handing over the keys to the vault.
Yes.
It's about making sure that the legacy continues.
Exactly.
But what about the regulatory landscape?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's constantly changing,
Always shifting.
especially with all these new technologies.
Especially with crypto and AI-driven finance.
So how are they keeping up?
Family offices have to be incredibly adaptable.
Right.
They have to stay informed about regulatory developments
Yeah.
in multiple jurisdictions.
That sounds like a headache.
Yeah, and a lot of them are working with legal experts
Okay.
who specialize in these emerging fields.
So they need to be agile, not just in their investment strategies,
Yes.
but in their legal and compliance approach, too.
Exactly. They need to be able to anticipate regulatory changes
Right.
and adapt their strategies accordingly.
Yeah.
But, this can actually be an advantage, too.
How so?
Well, they can often move faster than larger institutions
Right.
to take advantage of new regulations or even exploit loopholes
Interesting.
that benefit their unique structure.
Okay, so it's like a balancing act
It is
Yeah.
navigating this constantly evolving landscape.
of finance technology regulation.
It's a lot.
Do these offices ever work together
They do.
to share knowledge and resources and stuff?
Absolutely. There are organizations like the Emirates Family Office Association,
Okay.
and they play a crucial role in facilitating collaboration among family offices.
Okay.
They provide platforms for knowledge-sharing networking,
Mm.
even joint investment opportunities.
So they're not just competing with each other.
Right.
They're also cooperating.
It's a mix of both, really.
Okay.
They recognize that they can achieve more by working together,
Makes sense.
sharing best practices,
Yeah.
pooling resources for larger investments.
So they can kind of stay ahead of the curve
Exactly.
by working together.
Yeah, and navigate the complexities of the global financial landscape.
It's like they're forming their own little exclusive network.
It is
Yeah.
sharing all the insider secrets and strategies.
Okay, so we talked about the shift towards expansion,
Mm-hmm.
the role of technology,
Yeah.
the challenges of cybersecurity, succession planning,
Right.
the importance of collaboration.
Yeah.
So what's the big takeaway here?
The big aha moment
Yeah.
is that Dubai's family offices aren't just passive inheritors of wealth.
Oh.
They are shaping the future. They're driving innovation.
Wow.
They're influencing markets.
Yeah.
And they're redefining what wealth management even means. And their ability to adapt and embrace new technologies will determine their success.
And it's fascinating to watch.
Oh, it is. It really is.
Yeah, it's a whole new era of wealth leadership.
It is.
And it sounds like they're kind of writing the playbook as they go along.
Absolutely.
But let's dive into some specific examples of how they're using technology to get that edge.
Okay.
That's where it gets really interesting.
Let's do it. Yeah, you mentioned AI, and that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
It's not just about automating tasks anymore.
Right.
They're using AI to fundamentally change
Okay.
how they analyze markets and make decisions.
So give me a concrete example.
Okay, so one family office that we read about
Yeah.
is using AI to analyze weather patterns
Okay.
and satellite imagery
Oh.
of agricultural regions around the world.
Hmm.
But they're not just looking at crop yields.
Right.
They're actually predicting commodity prices,
Wow.
identifying potential disruptions in the supply chain,
Okay.
and even anticipating political instability
Yeah.
in food-producing nations.
So they can kind of get ahead of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that gives them this incredible insight
Yeah.
that allows them to make strategic investments
Right.
in agricultural technology and resources.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
They're basically creating their own global intelligence network
Right.
with AI.
Exactly.
No wonder they're able to stay ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, and AI isn't just for these big global macro trends.
Right.
They're using it to dive deep into individual companies.
Okay.
They're looking at everything.
Like what?
From social media sentiment
Okay.
to supply chain efficiency to predict which startups are going to be the next big thing.
Wow.
They're even using AI to assess the personalities and
Right.
leadership styles of the founders of these startups
Oh my God.
to see if they're going to be viable in the long term.
So it's not just about crunching numbers.
Right.
They're also using AI to understand
The human element.
the human element.
It's like they're building a financial superbrain.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
And that brings us to blockchain.
Yeah.
We know they're using it for things like tokenized assets,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got to go way beyond that.
It does go way beyond that.
So how are they using blockchain to improve their operations
Okay.
and their investments?
So one area is supply chain management.
Okay.
Family offices that have interests in global trade
Right.
are using blockchain to track goods,
Okay.
from origin to destination. It ensures transparency, reduces fraud,
Okay.
and streamlines logistics.
Wow.
So it not only makes their own businesses more efficient,
Right.
but it gives them an edge when they're investing in other companies that rely on efficient supply chains.
So they've got like a real-time view
Yeah.
of where everything is.
A tamper-proof view.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What about like in high finance? How are they using it there?
One really interesting example is in private markets.
They're using blockchain to create digital tokens that represent shares in private companies. So it makes it easier to invest in and trade these traditionally illiquid assets.
So they're making it more accessible to more people.
Yes, exactly. They're democratizing access to these investments.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
But with all this technology,
Yeah.
it must come with some major headaches.
Oh, yeah.
Like we talked about the cybersecurity threat before. What are they actually doing to protect themselves?
So a lot of them are adopting this, what they call a zero trust security model.
What does that mean?
It means that they basically assume that any device, any user, any network connection could be compromised.
Oh, wow.
So they have to verify every interaction, use multi-factor authentication, and constantly monitor for any suspicious activity.
So they're not just building walls.
No.
It's like they're constantly on guard.
Always vigilant.
Yeah.
Assuming the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
They're also investing in advanced threat intelligence.
Okay.
Sharing information about attacks with each other.
Okay.
And even with government agencies.
It makes sense.
Yeah. They realize that collaboration is key in cybersecurity.
Yeah. They're all facing the same threats.
Yeah.
But what about internal threats?
Right.
Like, how are they making sure that the next generation can actually manage all this technology and not, fall for a phishing scam or something?
Yeah. So cybersecurity education is now like a core part of their training programs.
Okay.
They're teaching their kids to think like hackers.
Wow.
To understand social engineering.
Interesting.
And to recognize phishing attempts.
Okay.
They're also emphasizing strong passwords, data encryption, and responsible social media use.
So it's like cybersecurity boot camp.
It is, for the ultra-wealthy.
Yeah. But are they also instilling like the right mindset, the right approach to risk?
Absolutely. They're emphasizing ethical decision-making. In the digital world, the potential consequences of data breaches and the need to protect not just their own wealth, but the privacy and security of their clients and partners.
That makes sense.
Yeah. They're realizing that cybersecurity is not just a technical issue anymore.
Yeah.
It's a matter of family legacy and reputation.
So they're teaching them to be tech savvy.
Yes.
But also digitally responsible.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's a big shift from, that whole move fast and break things mentality.
Yeah, in the tech world.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're learning that in the world of family offices.
Yeah.
Where reputation and legacy are everything. Caution and prudence are just as important as innovation and agility.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But even with the best cybersecurity in the world, there are still those challenges with succession planning, making sure the next generation can take the reins.
Right. Is the next generation even going to want to do this?
Yeah. Do they have the temperament, the skills, the desire to manage all of this?
It's a lot of pressure.
It is.
Yeah.
So how are they addressing that?
Well, a lot of families are realizing that it's not just about passing on wealth. It's about fostering a culture.
Of what?
Of entrepreneurship responsibility and long-term thinking.
So it's not just inheritance.
Right.
It's creating a pathway for them to manage the family wealth.
To become true stewards of the family wealth. Exactly.
Some families are even setting up what they call like shadow boards.
Yeah.
Where younger members can observe and participate in the investment decisions so they can get experience and build confidence.
Exactly. It's like an apprenticeship program for future billionaires.
Yeah. But even with all that preparation,
you
never know what the world's going to look like.
That's the big question.
In 10, 20 years.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. So how can you prepare for that?
Well, the families that are doing really well are the ones that are embracing that uncertainty.
Okay.
They're fostering adaptability, and they're instilling this culture of continuous learning.
So it's not about having the right answers.
Right.
It's about knowing how to ask the right questions.
Exactly. And being willing to adapt
to
a constantly changing world.
So you have to prepare them for the challenges that we know about, but also the ones that we can't even imagine yet.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, it's a tall order, but it seems like they're doing a pretty good job.
They are. They are. And It's not just about, preserving wealth.
Right.
It's about using wealth to try to shape a better future.
Okay.
They're investing in sustainable technologies, funding social impact ventures, supporting initiatives that are addressing, some of the world's biggest problems.
So it's about making a difference.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that with great wealth comes great responsibility.
And that brings us back to this idea of collaboration.
Yeah.
They're realizing that they can achieve more by working together.
Yeah.
Sharing knowledge, pooling resources for bigger investments.
Right.
We talked about the Emirates Family Office Association earlier.
Yeah.
But let's dive a little deeper into that.
Okay.
How does this collaboration actually work in practice?
Yeah.
What are some of the specific ways that they're working together to get that edge? So it's not just, like networking events and cocktail parties. They're actually putting their money where their mouth is and pooling their resources and expertise.
Absolutely. It's like a collective intelligence network.
Oh.
They share information about investment opportunities, due diligence findings, even their experiences with different legal and regulatory frameworks.
So they can all learn from each other's mistakes.
Exactly. It helps them make better decisions, mitigate risks, and tap into a much broader pool of expertise.
So it's like having a global team of advisors working together to maximize their wealth.
That's a great way to put it.
And it goes beyond just sharing information, right?
It does. They also co-invest in projects that align with their values and goals.
Like what kind of projects?
So, for example, we read about a group of family offices that pooled their resources to invest in a huge solar energy project in North Africa.
Right.
Individually, they might not have had the capital or the expertise to do something that big. But by working together, they could make a real impact.
Wow.
Both financially and environmentally.
So they're not just generating wealth.
Right.
They're also, helping the world.
Exactly. They're using their collective power to drive positive change.
That's great.
It's a powerful example of how family offices can actually be a force for good.
I like that.
Yeah, and this collaborative spirit is helping them navigate this really complex world of impact investing.
Okay.
They're sharing best practices, developing new metrics for measuring social and environmental impact.
So they can actually track their progress.
Exactly. And they're even co-creating investment funds that are focused on specific sustainability goals.
So they're really shaping the future of impact investing.
They are. And they're doing it in a way that's both strategic and values-driven. They realize that the most successful businesses are going to be the ones that prioritize sustainability, social responsibility, and long-term value creation.
So it's a whole new way of thinking about wealth creation.
It is. It's not just about profit anymore.
Wow.
It's about purpose.
But all this collaboration, all this knowledge sharing.
It takes a lot of work.
It does,
There's got to be a ton of trust involved.
Especially when you're talking about, millions, billions of dollars.
Sensitive information.
So how do they build that trust?
Well, they spend a lot of time building relationships, establishing clear communication channels, and creating formal governance structures.
For their collaboration.
Yes, exactly. So it's not just about signing contracts.
Right.
It's about building genuine partnerships.
Based on shared values.
Yeah, and mutual respect.
And that seems to be working.
It is. They're creating a really resilient network. One that can handle market fluctuations, geopolitical uncertainties, even internal disagreements.
It's like they're creating this tapestry of interconnectedness.
That's a great way to put it.
Where each thread represents a family, a business, a set of values, all woven together.
And it creates something stronger.
Yeah.
More vibrant.
More resilient.
Yes. And it shows that these family offices aren't just isolated entities. They're all part of this dynamic, evolving ecosystem.
And it's changing the world.
It is shaping the future of global finance and beyond.
Okay, so we covered a lot of ground today.
We did.
We talked about the shift from preservation to expansion. The role of technology, cybersecurity succession planning, the importance of collaboration.
Absolutely.
And the rise of impact investing.
It's been fascinating.
It has. For our listener who sent in these articles.
Yeah.
Hopefully we answered some questions.
I hope so.
And gave you some new insights.
And maybe even sparked some new questions.
Yeah, because this world is constantly changing.
It is.
And these family offices are leading the way.
They're at the forefront.
Yeah, they're the ones experimenting with new technologies.
Exploring new markets.
And redefining what it means to be a responsible steward of wealth.
Yeah, they're showing that you can achieve financial success
Yeah.
and social impact
And balance innovation with tradition.
and build a legacy that goes beyond just the bottom line.
It's pretty inspiring
It is.
and something we can all learn from,
Absolutely.
whether we're managing millions of dollars or just our own personal finances.
Yeah, great point.
Well, that's it for today's deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Stay curious and stay informed.